fighting games are currently obsessed with the Street Fighter 6 beta. Holy shit.
Yes. Fighting games are fucking getting out of fighting games.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do
we have to start with the...
That's been all I've been seeing for the past fucking
like
week.
Reference 99% of people won't get.
Well, anyway, here's the bingo card. You can play along with at home.
Jesus, just immediately a reference 99% of people will not get. Like, not just a reference to a one specific YouTuber that doesn't even exist anymore and is split into several streamers. You are specifically referencing the subreddit for that particular now dead YouTube channel. You motherfucker.
I mean, to be fair though, people will go to Wooly before they come to us for anything fighting game related.
That is true, but I don't know that necessarily everyone would see him getting blown up by Pat. But yeah, that's the Street Fighter 6 beta has been going on. All the big content creators got the big exposure to it. And yes, you former two best friends play, or well, super best friends play, turned Twitch streamers, Wooly and Pat, Wooly being the one who is known as the aficionado of fighting games, played it, and Wooly got his ass blown out by Pat, who is not the fighting game aficionado. Or well, he is a fighting game aficionado, but he doesn't make it his brand, unlike Wooly.
Yeah, like the whole thing about that bit of news for me is just like, hey, it's like when we started playing fighting games together. Because you looked into the competitive side of it a lot more and knew about like Wake Up and stuff like that. I just played fighting games for like fucking 15 years at that point. But I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing.
For one thing, looking into it doesn't mean I actually learn anything. But on top of that, hey, I do better at a few games.
That's true.
Marvel Infinite and Marvel Infinite.
MK11. MKX, I think. It depends. If you're playing Jax, then yes.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think if we play Guilty Gear and I get to be Slayer and you get to be Johnny, I think we're even. If we play Street Fighter and you're Akuma and I'm Geef, I think we're even.
I mean, if you're playing Guilty Gear and you're Slayer and I'm Johnny, then you'll probably have an easier time because Slayer hard counters me. Like me as in the person, not the character. Me, the player.
Other than that, yes, I would say you're generally the better out of the two of us, especially if it's Virtual Fighter.
Somehow.
I'll get the run back on that one some year.
Eventually.
Some year.
I mean, like, anytime, once you have, like, you know...
I'll have to wait until you're, like, fucking... I'll have to wait until you're, like, the Minciac, but I'll get my wins back.
I mean, like, we'll have to wait for your internet to stabilize either way. But, like, I'm ready whenever. I own 3 copies of Virtua Fighter 5. And,
oh, shit.
And also, alternatively, we could just play DOA 5 instead, which has Jackie Bryant. So, hey.
That's true. I don't think that's entirely fair, though, just because Dead or Alive features much more grabs. And
yeah,
where there are grabs, I inflate. I don't know what word I was looking for there. I engorge.
Yeah. So yes, yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of which, Street Fighter 6, no Geef yet. I'm still curious about that. But yeah, a lot of crazy stuff coming out of that beta, huh?
Yeah. Did you see did you see Luke's VA doing a meme?
No, I did not.
Someone posted like one of, I think, G-Una's, I forget whose, but someone's created character got sent his way on Twitter, and someone sent it with him. Like, imagine, or no, it didn't even get sent his way. Someone just posted a picture of it with the caption, imagine Luke, like, fucking corpsing over this while telling you that you look photogenic. Because that's apparently his, like, line in the story mode. And then Luke's VA somehow found that and recorded that exact thing. He even had it zoom in on the character when he was cracking up. So that was great.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's one of those things where, like, I've only, like, I haven't seen anything that would make me like Luke. But the VA having a humor about him may help, you know?
I was actually about to mention something I saw about Luke in the beta.
Yeah.
That is just left me dumbfounded. So not only does Luke have a unique win animation he'll do if he gets a perfect, he actually has two, depending on whether he had over or under 50% of his drive gauge left.
What are they?
If he gets a perfect and has over 50% of his drive gauge left, he does a big kind of spinny dance. But if he has under 50%, he's like tired and doesn't do the spins. He just kind of does some of the arm motions like, oh, fuck, that took a lot out of me.
Nice.
Yeah, that drive gauge is sounding very influential to the game.
Yeah.
And there was I thought something I found funny was I follow Old and Filament, for those who don't know, wrote the the excellent Killer Instinct guide, and also the fighting game dictionary, I guess you could say, or the fighting game terminology website, whatever you want to call it. Very cool. I don't know what he is. I guess he's a fighting game intellectual. Weird term. But he says interesting things about fighting games. And apparently people during the beta have been saying drive impact, strong nerf, right?
Yeah.
Because it's focus attacks, right? Except now you got to spend from a bit of meter to do it, but it's focus attacks.
Yeah.
And then Filament was saying, people are going to want the drive impact nerfed right now that it's the opening week. How are people going to feel about it a few months down the line when people have insane block strings that just destroy your fucking drive gauge?
Yeah.
Like, how are people going to feel about it when the defensive options become a necessity because the rushdown guys have figured out insane setups?
Yeah, like, that's the thing about that sort of stuff is the things that I've seen about Street Fighter 6, it seems like, at least on paper, they're trying to balance things out so there's as many defensive options as there are offensive, which is the right way to go about it, in my opinion, because, you know, you don't want overwhelming offense, you also want offense to exist.
Yes.
And, you know, like, focus attacks were strong in a way, like in SF4, I mean. Focus attacks were strong as long as the opponent didn't figure out that it only gave you, like, a hit of super guard. But, like...
Or just throw them.
Yeah, or just throw them. Past that, it was a... it like, the focus attacks worked less like a defensive move really, and more just like a soft parry, kind of. That's the point.
I feel like there's got to be like a Mendel chart or whatever, the square charts of, you know, like one set being like, please, what it's the like when you see those charts that it's like, please please blank, right?
Yeah.
And you go to Zangief and it says, please focus attack me.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see that the parry window is actually, like, super fucking tight?
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I heard it, yes. Like, I saw
supposedly the Street Fighter...
Max was asking people if they've run the frames to check just, like, how little window you have.
Like, supposedly... And I just got the notification, by the way, that my earbuds are running out of power, so I'm going to have to switch to, I'm going to have to switch up my audio in a second. But apparently, Street Fighter 3 parries 10 frames, right?
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 parries 3 frames.
Nice.
Okay, now you take it away for a little bit while I fix my audio.
All right. Well, I can understand why they would make the parry window smaller, because the parries in Street Fighter 3, while challenging, also some claim that they were easy to do. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this statement, but at the same time, you know, you have to consider that people who would find that sort of stuff very easy would be people who play at a very competitive level. So obviously they want it to be more challenging, and this would be just that.
Well,
the big thing here, actually, and I just got to my point. I forgot my point in the middle of the sentence. But anyway, the big thing to take away from this, though, is that the more strict parry window may reduce the amount of like false parries. By which I mean, you know, those instances where in Street Fighter 3 you're trying to do a move, or like you're just trying to walk forward and you accidentally do a good guess, and the enemy hits you in just a way for you to parry them, and you don't know what to do. Like, I think the more strict timing window should aid in reducing the possibilities of accidentally getting into a good position and then not being able to capitalize, pretty much.
There is that, but since the parry input in this game is like pressing right bumper and right trigger at the same time, I don't see there being that many accidental parries.
Yeah, that's true.
With that said, like, even at the competitive level, one has to keep in mind there's a vast difference of competitive skill sets. Because Daigo is, of course, always the classic for the Daigo parry, but you can compare him to plenty of competitive players who are up there because they have a really good sense for, what are the strongest buttons in neutral, or they spend a long time labbing out what are the best, pressure setups. And those guys may not necessarily have the best parrying skills, right?
Yeah.
Which I think, well, of course, it all balances out. Of course, Daigo versus Justin Wong is the classic matchup for a reason. They're two opposites.
Yeah.
Daigo is all hands, no brain. Justin's all brain, no hands.
Yeah, and we'll come back to this topic shortly, because I found a topic during the weeks that pertains to this part of fighting games.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm very curious to see how, have you seen some of the combos? Because the combos in this game look unnaturally large for Street Fighter combos.
Yes, I saw one Jamie combo and I was like, okay, I don't need to see more. I don't need to see more. I know enough to know that this game will be fun for me.
Yeah. Well, I've seen some goofy guile stuff with using the anti-air Sonic Hurricane as a setup, which I find funny. I saw a Ken combo that was just repeated juggles with the crazy kicks.
That's nice. That's Tekken combos.
Yeah. Yeah, legitimately.
Yeah, it's a wall carry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it looked like he was just doing it in the corner, so it might be corner exclusive, but, because sometimes, like, maybe the crazy kicks, if you do them to a juggled opponent, send them flying.
Yeah, it was, at least. At last. We can get our sequel then. You want another fucking infinite?
Rather than bringing a Tekken, we've decided that we're going to continue the Street Fighter Tekken crossover trend here. But rather than bringing a Tekken character into the Street Fighter cast, we're going to inject the Tekken into each member of the Street Fighter cast.
Yes, like I low-key want Street Fighter 6 to just be, hey, so we looked at every other fighting game and just took a bit, as you do.
Well, they already looked at every other Street Fighter and went, oh, we'll take a little bit of that, a little bit of this.
Yeah, but like if they did that, I want Capcom to release a statement of like back in fucking 82, we gave you fighting games. Now we are taking them back.
That's kind of how the fighting game market goes usually. As Max said, Street Fighter's failure is everyone else's success, and Street Fighter's success is usually everyone else's failure.
Yeah. But you know, like I keep seeing all of these good things about SF6, and I still can't help but wonder. Okay, what did they fuck up? Because they like something is not right. There is a disturbance in the force.
What? Well, it's Capcom's fighting game division is finally catching up with the rest of the company, right?
Yeah.
Because ever since Resident Evil 7, the rest of Capcom's been putting out consistent bangers.
I mean, yeah, but even with those though, there's things where you can see some of the corporate meddling and just how the designers and whatever the devs just worked around that, like in DMC5, how there's a fucking microtransaction for red orbs that there's no reason to actually buy, but still.
What? It's like, well, when you get into that, it's almost like, what if Street Fighter 6 comes out at launch and there's like, oh, here's a pass that gets you everybody's alternate outfits, but then it's like, oh, by the way, to get each of the alternate outfits, you can just beat arcade mode with that character. Oh, well, why can I pay? Oh, you know what? For fighting games, actually, it does make a lot of sense to have a pay to skip all the unlockables because tournaments.
Yeah. And they Capcom will also call it the accelerator with 2 X's.
And Ric Flair will get drunk at the Street Fighter 6 show.
I mean, weirder shit has happened in video games recently. Like, did you hear about the fucking Sonic thing at TGS where they had fucking strippers apparently? So
no, yeah. But wait, how recent was this?
This most recent TGS, Sega showed off Sonic Frontiers, and apparently there was either, like, I forget if it's just pole dancers or just straight up strippers. Either way, pole dancers. You know.
That's like something from E3 2005. Like some fucking booth babe setup. Oh god.
So yeah, like the weird shit has been happening. people like the lockdowns drove people crazy. We are in the funniest timeline.
We're getting a remake of Horizon Zero Dawn in 2022. So yes, people have lost their mind. Not to veer too far off fighting game topics.
I mean that's one of the fucking the squares on the bingo.
Where's my Mortal Kombat 11 remake? It's time already, apparently.
Mortal Kombat 11 remake, and it adds accessibility options, which we couldn't just patch in somehow. So we like the and like the accessibility options is just larger subtitles.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, you know, I joke, and it's not a big change technically. Well, you know, to us, it's not a big change. Apparently, coding, like, scaling subtitles is actually, like, the biggest pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, it's easier to do actually, like, helpful accessibility options. So, you know.
I don't understand technology.
Me neither. But, yeah. So, first... Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of accessibility options, did you see the accessibility suite for Street Fighter 6?
No.
It's nuts. I only heard just a few of the features, but like they put in like some kind of mechanic that you can turn on where it's like it plays a different ping sound depending on whether you just got hit with an overhead or a low. That can be turned on or off. And another one they set up is it can play a ping whenever you hit either side of the screen. And that's super useful for blind players.
Yes.
Since fighting games are one of the few video games that blind people can actually play. Well, of course, the low overhead thing is specifically for blind people, again, to help the blind players. Yeah. But that's useful for everyone, honestly.
I mean, both of those are helpful for everyone. I feel. Well, both of those are helpful to new players, getting used to, like, what shit is.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and just for completeness' sake, look up the full accessibility suite. And feel free to go ahead and keep talking while I look it over real quick.
All right. Well, the ones you've already brought up do sound very good. Like they are actually like some very interesting and, from the sounds of it, usable ideas to make these things actually accessible to people who are not able-bodied. Which, you know, that's kind of their point. So
yeah,
them not just being okay, turn on dumb mode is a very good.
Oh my god!
What?
You can turn on a sound effect for when you get crossed up.
Holy shit! That's really good.
Yeah. Like, that's confusing for everyone, whether or not they just got crossed up.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, and the sound system is like properly built so that, like, you know when you go into a game's sound settings and they only have 2 sliders or just 1?
Yes.
Because I've been having that problem with Mass Effect Legendary Edition recently. You can tell the game's sound system was built for surround sound, which I do not have. So the combat sounds are so fucking loud, but the dialogue is so quiet. And it's fucking killing me. And the sound system does not allow you to switch back to just stereo. I'm 99% certain that my PS5 is set to stereo sound, not surround sound. And I can't even just go in and, like, lower the special effects. But, like, here, the Street Fighter 6 sound system actually has the proper sliders for master volume, music volume, sound effects, system voice, something voice, yada, yada, yada.
That's really nice.
What the hell? Hang on, I might actually make some noise here. Give me a second.
All right.
Because I am taking, okay, oh, wow. Oh, that's a lot of sound sliders. You can set the effect that distance to your opponent has on sound.
Nice.
You can set the sounds of each individual, like, thing. There is a slider for hit sounds, clothing sounds, footstep sounds, regular action sounds, attack sounds, critical art and drive sounds. Holy shit!
Capcom is allowing Capcom is allowing you to master the game for yourself. I really like that. Like, that's something where, like,
that's fucking great.
Yeah. And this is something where, like, most people don't or wouldn't care, and I hope that this comes with a couple of presets for people who don't. And I will probably just fucking default to using the presets myself, but it's a thing of, like, if you're really particular about your audio, then this is a godsend.
Yeah.
Man.
Excuse me.
Once again, I pose the question, what did they fuck up? Whose corpse is under the fucking the fighting game offices? Oh no. Anyway, yeah.
Wait. No, I was looking at more more accessibility options. There, you can set a sound to go off for each time you change drive gauge, each change in drive gauge and in critical art gauge.
Ah, nice.
So the sound can, like, play for, like, progressively higher pitched dings, let's say, for depending on the amount of super meter you have. That's nice just for me because I don't like looking at the super meter.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, this would be nice for me if I hadn't, like, taught myself to never actually look at what like the characters are doing and really mostly only look at the meters, like, years ago.
Yeah.
Like, even if I had that stuff turned on, I'd be still looking at the meters because that's just how I play. It's like whenever you throw out a jab and you know it'll hit, okay, look at the meters. All right, meters say that, and then the jab is still going.
You can even set when the narrator talks on the character select screen, whether he says, like, what characters you chose as soon as you press the button or later or earlier. I don't know what this means because the guy didn't check all the possibilities, but damn.
Yeah, that's really nice. Like, there's the thing that always comes up of, everyone copies Capcom because they were the first. Boy fucking howdy, do people have shit to live up to if Street Fighter 6 is as good as it sounds.
Well, all that sound system stuff is not just new for fighting games, it's new for gaming altogether.
Yeah.
That's legitimately insane. I've never seen a game do that.
I've seen a game or two come close, but it was never to the point of literally being able to master the game for yourself. It was, we mastered this track separately to that track to separately to that track, and then you can change the relation of the tracks, but never like once again to the point of being able to be like, okay, so I want hit sounds to be this loud, but I want footsteps to be that loud and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know what this means?
What does that mean?
First match we play in Street Fighter 6, we have to mute everything except for the footsteps.
It's gonna sound like you're watching fucking ballet with no music.
Yeah.
The funny thing will be, like, the ultra competitive guys, the guys that always play on the grid, who, like, turn off everything that isn't gameplay relevant in audio.
Yeah.
Music, gone. Clothing sound effects, gone. Anything related to the stage, gone. Oh, by the way, here's something really crazy. Did you see that you choose your stage and, like, it's just visuals?
Did
you see?
I didn't see that it's visuals. I did hear that if you're watching someone else's match, if you're watching two other people play and they hit rematch, then you load onto a different level by where you stay on the same one.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
what do you mean?
So say let's see. Say it was Tekken 5, because that's the game that I remember at least two levels names of. Let's say it's Tekken 5. You're watching someone else have a set with a third person, and they're fighting on Moonlit Wilderness. All right, the match goes down. They press rematch instead of loading into Moonlit Wilderness again. Or whatever, it shows you that they're on the pit now, but on their screen they're still on Moonlit Wilderness.
Oh, weird. Interesting. So that's like actually like that's a thing for the competitive side, because that's a way to solve the grid problem for tournaments. I see. Yes. So they can still be playing on the grid, but for the viewer, it looks like they're fighting somewhere more interesting.
Yes.
Well, what I'm talking about is, did you see when Pat and Wooly were playing, did you see that Pat had set himself to be playing on the island, the Japanese island stage, the Ryu stage, with the Shinto gate in the background? But Wooly had set himself to be playing on the grid, and they were playing the same match, but seeing different stages.
I didn't see that, but fuck, that's really nice.
Yeah. So, like, competitive players that want to play on the grid constantly to ensure maximum optimal, such and such, can always play on the grid, and everyone else can play on stages that are actually visually interesting.
Yes.
Like, that is insane.
Yeah.
Like, that is a feature that should absolutely be in every fighting game, and I'm not just saying that because I want NetherRealm to get rid of stage interactables.
But still, though, NetherRealm, please.
Yeah, they're still lame, NetherRealm. I'm sorry. I know you put a lot of work into them, and that they look like... is that really a feature that would grab casuals? That just confused me as a casual.
Yeah, it confuses me as someone who technically isn't. Technically I am, but technically I'm not. But whatever.
I mean, well, I was playing... Yeah. I was playing Injustice 1 and Mortal Kombat X. Like, Mortal Kombat X was the first fighting game I really started to take seriously. And I can tell you both that and Injustice 1. I was just like, what the fuck is the point of this? It just makes the game more complicated. Just let me pick a fucking character. Don't make the stage matter. I've already got too much shit to worry about.
Yeah. And like most of them are also very lame. The only strange interactable that was interesting is the granny.
Yeah, grandma, exactly.
But like aside from that, it's
Like,
just like, oh, fucking spooky blood water. Oh, actual just fireball. You know, as if like half of the cast can just throw that shit.
yeah. I always thought it was funny in Injustice you could what was it? You could rip a gun out of Deadshot's hands and shoot the opponent. Except Batman wouldn't do that. He'd just throw a bomb. But I mean, yeah,
Batman does the
and
animation,
thing
but
is,
it's a Joker gun.
anything
Anyway.
fun you can do with a stage in Mortal Kombat could just have been a stage fatality.
Yes.
Like, just enter the stage fatality code, and then Grandma charges and attacks the opponent, right?
Yeah, grandma does the fucking the Honda Psycho Crusher.
Yeah. I always appreciated that it wasn't a crazy move. She just straight up rips Cassie Cage's brutality animation where she beats you to death on the ground.
Oh, I don't remember that part. I remembered her like fucking flying through your body, and you just don't have a torso now.
Oh no, they made it where if you inputted a special code when you threw the grandma, instead of doing that, the grandma would do Cassie Cage's old ground and pound brutality.
Ah, I see.
Complete with the animation where she like gets up and wipes the blood off her face.
Nice.
Oh man. When are they gonna add the grandma to Mortal Kombat 12?
she's gonna replace fucking God Liu Kang. Super Saiyan God Liu Kang Super Saiyan.
If they give Liu Kang blue hair, they already did give Liu Kang blue hair, didn't they? Shit.
I think so.
He already like has blue hair when he's a god in Mortal Kombat 11. Oh boy. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I guess on to less depressing topics. No, actually, never mind. Yeah, go ahead.
Street Fighter 6, like the thing that makes me wonder is like how much is Street Fighter 6 if Street Fighter 6 goes completely off without a hitch and it becomes the raging success that it looks like it's going to be now, because it looks like Street Fighter 6 is doing that magical thing that we've all wanted, which is a fighting game that finally pleases both casuals and hardcores, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look, just that character creator is going to send casuals nuts, right?
Yes.
Have you seen the things people have made with that character creator?
Yes, I've seen the penis, yes.
Like, you can absolutely make your cool man, you can make yourself, but there are some WWE game level meme monsters in that game.
Yeah.
Eat your fucking heart out, Saints Row. And you can make them do the Street Fighter moves. So you can not just get your monster, but make him do Chun-Li and Cammy and Jury moves.
Yes.
Oh my god, did you see that Jury?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see that Jury taunt that isn't going to be allowed on ESPN?
Oh, no.
She turns around and like kind of bends over while looking backwards and then beckons towards you with one of her feet while her ass is sticking out.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Capcom.
Like, the Jury foot fetish people are
eating
more than ever before.
Yeah, the Jury foot fetish people are just like cutting the fucking guy from Zelda CDI. They're just the actual pig guy who is the size of a room.
I gotta look this taunt up. Give me a second.
Oh shit. So yeah. In the meantime, while you look the fucking the cursed fucking shit taunt up.
Oh boy, that's a lot of art.
Oh no. Do you have safe search turned on?
I'm going through Twitter. I don't know if
there's Then no. The answer is no.
So far, I've not run into any explicit porn. They're definitely being very generous with certain depictions of aspects of her body, though.
Yeah, the jury is made up of
boy.
feet. That's it. Feet. Face on feet.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I wanna see that art. I wanna see.
I was thinking, like, okay, there can't be this much of this stuff that's popular. I'll have to get to the taunt at some point. No, it keeps going. It keeps going.
Isn't foot stuff like the most what you call it? Like the biggest fetish?
It probably is.
So you know. Yeah. I have no point to make here. Just yeah. But yeah, so this is a piece of news that actually came out.
I found everything but what I was looking for. Wait, hang on, I might have found it. Found it.
All right.
I'll put it in the FGA thing, not so as not to freak out everyone else.
All right, let's see what this is. It's loading.
Oh boy.
Okay, I think I might. Okay, what? What are you doing? Okay, now it's going. Now it's going. Oh no!
Uh-huh. They knew what they were doing.
100%.
And that third taunt is just straight up her classic taunt from Street Fighter 4 too, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I like them bringing back her old taunt. Holy fuck, that first one. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in a way, her first taunt is the same as her old taunt, just reversed.
Yeah. These, like, the wind poses and the taunts and everything, it seems like every character is getting so much personality now.
Yeah.
By the way, I love I forget if it was like the actual official Street Fighter Twitter or somebody, but somebody just posting Kimberly versus Jury, and they're both making the stupid, like, puff out the cheeks face at each other.
Nice. Oh, I look forward to Akuma's child.
Yeah. What? Oh God, you're right. What face poses could they give Akuma? They can only make him so stoic.
Pink.
Pink's right. For those sitting at home, Pink just. We posted that Jury foot taunt in a moderator exclusive section of the Discord. That's to say, only Addy and I and Pink can see it. And Pink obviously is not present in this call, but nonetheless went, observed it, and said, "I think every fighting game should have a taunt that just behold my ass."
And it should always be on E Honda. In every game.
Oh man! Oh God! Did you see Jury's character select pose?
No, but I just imagine E Honda doing Jury's taunt, and I. Help!
Honda's pose should just be him slapping his belly with both hands.
He has 3 poses. He has one where he's just clapping normally. He has one where he's clapping his belly. He has one where he's clapping his ass.
Oh God! If I've learned anything from wrestling, that's signaling he's about to go for the stink face.
Yeah, that's his new move.
Man.
No, his new move is the rear view.
Oh God! Armika isn't in yet. He's stealing her shit.
Yeah. It's the EX version of his Cycle Crusher.
So we already know season 1 of DLC is got to feature Akuma and Fong Girl.
Yeah, the Akuma, the Fong replacement, Ed, and Rashid.
And that does make me wonder if it's going to be 4 character seasons instead of 6 character seasons. But, then Season 2 of DLC has to include Armika.
Yes.
Like,
Season 2 has to include Mika, Karin, and who else is really popular?
Ibuki has not missed a game since 3.
Yeah, Ibuki. Is Sakura in the base game? I don't think she is.
No, she isn't.
So yeah, then Sakura as well.
Like, Sakura and Armika are now both firmly in the Melina Baiken camp of will not miss a game because there are just people who are too fond of them.
Yeah.
Sakura, I'm curious, because Sakura was already getting older in Street Fighter V. This is several years later. By the way, if anyone says that Ryu knocked her up, I'm going to punch him. I don't know why people...
Yeah.
I always find that so weird when people say that Ryu and Sakura should get together. I always think like Ryu as being like at least a decade her senior, you know?
Yeah. I like to imagine...
Then again, I guess Ryu wasn't that old in Alpha, and she was already probably like 15 or 16 in Alpha.
Yeah, that's true.
How old is Ryu? Like, I think of Ryu in Street Fighter 6 as being kind of an old fucker, but he's probably just like at the latest.
Oh, it cut out when you said the age.
Mid-30s at the latest.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. He's around 30.
We do have to start wondering, Street Fighter. Like, I want, if the Street Fighter cast is all having kids, right? Because by now, Ken and Guile both have have biological children, and Chun-Li has adoptive children. I don't want Ryu to become a father. If they do like a Street Fighter 10 that's set in the far future and they're all fucking geezers in their 60s and 70s, I want Ryu to just become Oro when he gets old,
Yeah. Same
maybe
model
not
and everything.
as hideous as Oro, but, Oro's character, right?
Yeah, so what you're saying is you want to see Ryu's dick.
I mean, he's already copied... He's got part of the Oro outfit, now he just needs to lose the pants.
Yeah.
It's so funny that Oro, of all characters, is the only character in Street Fighter to actually feature nudity, because honestly, like, he's the one that makes the most sense anyways.
Yeah.
There's no way he's wearing underwear under that toga.
Yeah. And you know...
Makes it disturbing for the guys who are fighting him, though.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God, it just occurred to me Alex can powerbomb Oro.
Oh, no, I was thinking about the grab.
Alex just gets Oro's dick rubbed all over his face.
Yes.
Okay, so I know I'm getting Geef. But, give a mouse a cookie and he'll ask for a glass of milk. Capcom, where's Alex?
Capcom, where's Mecha Bison?
Hey now, don't get it twisted. I want regular Bison and I want Mecha Geef. I don't know if Mecha Geef would even play differently, but... Shit, what game was it that brought Mecha Geef in? Was Mecha Geef like a hidden boss in Marvel vs. Capcom 1 or something? Wasn't that it?
Something like that. And I don't think he played different to Geef. He might have had a miss if Geef didn't, but I feel like both of them did.
Like, that would have been around the same time as Shadow Lady, though, and Shadow Lady is, of course, batshit.
Yeah.
Chun-Li on crack.
But for Sakura, I like to imagine they're just like, oh, Sakura's aged a year, and then they show her off, and it's just this, like, 80-year-old fucking, like, granny.
Sakura's been smoking 2 packs a day ever since Street Fighter V.
Yeah. Like, I wanted to do the reverse of what Japan usually does with female characters, and just have her be some like, in like her 20s, and just have her look 80. Which won't happen, but still, it would be really funny.
While they refuse to acknowledge Chun-Li aging, but Sakura does it in seconds.
Yes. Chun-Li can't age because she is justice.
That's true.
Meanwhile, Sakura's just a journalist.
Sakura's a capital G gamer.
Yes, that too. Oh god, that's why Sakura's not on the main roster. She said a gamer word.
Oh boy.
I still low-key hope that they do that whole fucking bit that we talked about with Dark Sakura.
Oh god. Please no.
But yeah. So moving on to news. This is a piece of news that came out a while ago. I just always forgot to bring it up. But SNK, or well Oda, who is the producer at SNK, talked about the matchmaking issues with Final Fantasy, fucking KOF 15. And basically, what he said is, we don't know what the fuck to do.
Shit's happening, y'all.
Yeah, like he went out and in so many words said, we know that there's a matchmaking problem. We can replicate the matchmaking problem. We don't know what to do.
This is clearly some kind of wizardry. We have decided to bring a Shinto priest into the office.
This must be the work of an enemy stand. So yeah, and that's basically where KOF 15 is right now. That's pretty much it.
Well,
yeah.
KOF continues to be a game that you kind of want to just have some friends that play it with you, to my understanding.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, KOF doesn't strike me as the kind of game that's popular enough that I would trust the matchmaking to give me anything, just because, like, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, very popular fighting game series. There's going to be a big player base, as long as it's the most recent game. Yeah. KOF, I love it, I adore it. KOF is not the most popular, at least in the States. And the less popular a fighting game is, the more you need friends to play it with online. Otherwise, you run the risk of either pub stomping or getting pub stomped, you know?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, did you see that Street Fighter 6 has, like, a crazy, weird tier ranking system for online multiplayer that's, like, there to prevent people from, like, for one thing, they have proving ground matches to try and cut down on pub stomping. But on top of that, like, there's, like, the first few tiers, you can't lose rank no matter what. It's not until you get to the upper tiers that you can lose ranks for losses. Winning streaks only gain you points at the lower tiers, but at the upper tiers it doesn't. Shit like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, Capcom seems to be trying to make things work, everything at the same time. And once again, it leads you to ask, what did they fuck up?
You open up World Tour and it's just like Omega racist.
the protagonist of World Tour isn't actually your character, it's Dark Sakura.
Like, Luke starts teaching you, and just there's a loading screen, and inexplicably after the next loading screen, Luke is in blackface.
Anyway.
Like, after the tutorial is done, they let you out on the streets, and the very first thing you see is this gigantic fucking Times Square-sized billboard of just old let's say, old anti-Japanese propaganda from World War II in the States. Never mind the fact that Street Fighter 6 was made by a Japanese studio.
Yeah. Oh, shit. All the
civilian ambient lines are just various racist jokes.
Yes, and all of the patterns on clothing items are replaced with the imperial Japanese flag.
The game's ending is just a half-hour-long rant about how the Imperial Japan did nothing wrong ever.
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima is in the background crying.
Made by Ono. It was his last video for the company.
Fucking the new directors Nakayama and what's his face both tear off their faces to reveal like Oda killed them and skinned them.
The two of them do the fusion tends to reveal Ono.
Wearing a Blanca-chan outfit except for the mask. It's just his head poking out of it.
Yeah. Shit.
No, Ono, not the head bite.
Shit.
Oh, man.
Speaking of racism, Chaos Code sequels first Western outing refers developer ties to white supremacy supporter.
Hang on, you said that way too quickly. I didn't hear what the fuck.
Chaos Code, which is an indie-ish fighting game. I think it was I actually don't know if it was published by Darkstalkers or not. Whatever. So yeah, Chaos Code is an indie-ish fighting game. Chaos Code sequels first Western outing reaffirms developer ties to white supremacy supporter. As in, as in the devs were, or you know, the spokesperson was asked about the company's ties to like the white supremacist, I guess, or something like that, and they just went, yeah.
That game that everyone was laughing at because of its wacky trailer?
I think so.
Jesus.
So yeah.
So
that happened in the past 2 weeks. And then if memory serves, they even dug it deeper, but I didn't save that one. So yeah,
that's stupid. Point and laugh.
Yes.
It's nice when bad things happen to things you don't care about. I would like to just filter all the bad things down to the stuff I don't care about.
Yeah. Then I will say both of these headlines back to back because there's no reason to cut them up. So first, hackers reportedly take down Killer Instinct's main online mode. Then Killer Instinct Front League is back online. Devs cracking down on hackers. Haters. Devs are banning haters. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Killer Instinct went down for a couple of days. And yeah. I don't know why. That game's been out for like nearly 10 years or something.
I thought it was mysterious that well, it's not mysterious that happened. Old games with online play get hacked all the time because the developers aren't still caring for them. The mysterious thing was that the game's been out for fucking forever and the developers just popped back in and fixed it.
Yeah.
Like, I would think like Microsoft would not pay them to come into the office for just those 2 or 3 days. Well, that's not true. They're probably still at the office. Microsoft's just paying them to do something other than Killer Instinct. But, you know.
Yeah.
Unless it's Killer Instinct 2! Maybe in my dreams. You gotta be careful in these next couple of years. Street Fighter 6 is gonna be... Like, I mean, the question has to arise of what will be the rest of the industry's reaction to Street Fighter 6 as a success, right? Because Tekken 8 is already coming. And Mortal Kombat 12 is likely already quite a bit done as well, right? It might be a bit too late for either of them to course correct if there's anything they've done that they could have got away with a year or two ago, and they can't now.
Yeah, although apparently I haven't read this thing myself, but allegedly Harada had an interview recently where he was like, "I am not simplifying Tekken." Okay.
I mean, with Tekken 8, honestly, with Tekken 8, I just kind of want to see not more of the same, right?
Yeah. If with Tekken 8, both of us, I think, are like what we want, even though it's different things, could probably be summarized as both of us are hoping that Tekken 8 shows that they gave a shit, really.
Like, well, I think Tekken's honestly one where you and I don't divide that much. I think neither of us really like the rage system. Now, I don't pre-rage drive rage, I didn't give a shit about. But Rage Drive Rage, I fucking despise. I think super moves are so out of place in Tekken. And you and I both know that Rage is not going anywhere because Rage Drives are the kind of thing that get compilation videos on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think good single player content is vital to any fighting game because it's needed to keep the games going, right?
Yes.
That doesn't mean I'm necessarily super into it, but if a fighting game has a good single, like, I don't talk about fighting game single player so much. Well, I've said before that I have my issues with playing against the AI, but ultimately in the end I deal with it. It's just empty bitching. But I don't talk about fighting game single player so much, partly because there hasn't been a really super enjoyable fighting game single player mode in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, Mortal Kombat 9 story mode was the last really enjoyable fighting game single player that I can think of. And part of why fighting game single player has gone wrong in the last decade is everyone trying to be Mortal Kombat 9 story mode and not doing it properly, including NetherRealm.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, somehow even the people who made Mortal Kombat 9 just couldn't figure out why Mortal Kombat 9 worked.
Yes.
I was also going to say Tekken 6, but then I don't remember when that came out. So I'm looking that up right now. Okay, 2007. Holy shit! Wow. Okay, never mind. Yeah, MK9 is the less good single player mode, because like even with Tekken 6's like 3D beat 'em up, was it good? Not really, no. But it had a lot of promise. That's more than I can say than Tekken 7 single player stuff, you know?
It was amusing because you could fit any character into Tekken Force, right?
Yes. And then with Tekken 7's, like you have the story mode that's bad, and you have Ghost Battle, which gets boring very fast. So
it does. I think like it's always the thing of like, I think the Tekken AI is more enjoyable to play against than a lot of other AIs. I thought the addition of boss battles was really neat. But for me, like, it's hard to imagine. Like, honestly, I can't say what changed. It might just be that I played Treasure Battle in Tekken Tag 2 so much that it just killed the mode for me. But, like, I dumped hundreds of hours into Treasure Battle in Tekken Tag 2. It was nuts.
I mean, yeah, with Ghost Battle or whatever, Treasure Battle, you're right. That's what it was called. I'm just using the old name because that's what it used to be. But technically, it used to be arcade in Tekken 5. Huh. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. It wasn't. Was it? I don't fucking remember. I feel like that's a story mode and an arcade mode. And story mode was the actual arcade, while arcade was Ghost Battle, which is weird. And then you also had Devil Within. But yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, I also played a lot of Treasure Battle, but not too much. Like, I've probably spent a lot of time playing Treasure Battle. I mean, like, obviously that's the thing I played the most outside of the times when I had that one sparring partner that fucking blocked me because I beat them too hard. that was the only like, I befriended the guy by playing Tag 2 online. We became sparring partners, and then I got accidentally too good. And they didn't learn how to block. Well, they learned how to block, but instead of blocking my moves, they blocked me. So
yeah,
so that was nice. And that's how I got out of playing fighting games online. But yeah, so yeah, I put in a lot of time with Tech 2's Treasure Battle, But then Tekken 7's treasure battle, it's like a thing of the the boss battles. I'm fine with. They can be fun because it's a different sort of AI for the character that you can face otherwise as well, and whatever. That's fine. The gimmick battles I didn't like because all of them changed the rules too much to the point where you couldn't use your normal stuff, and also didn't come up enough for you to actually make good game plans for them. So it's like, okay, now there's no now there's moon gravity. All right, so I'll do one juggle, and then whoever I'm fighting is dead. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, juggle combat. Just do the same thing that you did with moon gravity, but with no, actually that's the same thing. Wow, I think that's the same thing. Anyway.
Not to bring everything back to Street Fighter 6, but I did see something amusing. Apparently, Max went into the Doofy Test Your Luck mode in Street Fighter 6 and tried to parry the bull, and did not succeed.
Yeah. But yeah, so like they had a double damage battle, which was just what it says on the tin. It was play Guilty Gear Strive in Tekken 7.
No.
I
yes, I do remember. I do remember double damage. They kept that, and they brought it back. I want to say in Tekken 7, but I want to say it skipped Tag 2.
Yeah, it wasn't in Tag 2.
And of course, the mode was just bonkers if you were playing Paul Phoenix because it would be one-hit death.
Yeah. And then let's see what other like gimmicks were there in Tekken 7. Those might have been it. It might no there was 2 times. Well, that's the moon thing that I was talking about, the 2 times, because for whatever reason it fucks with the gravity if you're playing the game in 2 times speed. So yeah. And like once again, like these gimmick matches to me are what ruined the treasure battle, because they weren't in 6, if memory serves. They definitely weren't in Tech 2. And in 7, it's just like, okay, so we have a couple of potential boss battles that may be fun. Also a bunch of shitty gimmicks that just kind of just break the gameplay.
I definitely remember the gimmick battles being awkward. I'd forgotten about them until you mentioned them. Especially because, correct me if I'm wrong, in Tag 2, you would still fight the... No, I'm wrong. Like, wasn't it that the gimmick battles you always fight, like, Brian Fury wearing a rainbow outfit? And it's like, what the fuck?
No, you're thinking of the other gimmick battles where you can unlock their clothes. That's also a thing in 7, but that wasn't in Tag 2, no.
Ah. Ugh.
Yeah, like, Tekken 7's single-player stuff is very lacking. And I just want to push forward this. Because this is another one of those things where like I will talk about it until it happens. But I want Tekken to bring back Jinpachi. I'm not saying I want Jinpachi to be in the game. I'm saying I want to have another experience like Jinpachi, because I still like it's one of those things where I hate him so much that I want to see him again. I miss him. Like yeah, go ahead.
I think you're in the same territory with Jinpachi that I am with Baek-Dusan, where it's like, yeah, and Bruce now. Of just, yeah, better wait for the next tag game.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not saying that I want Jinpachi back as a playable character. I mean that I want another boss that actually feels like he's fucking with me. Because Jinpachi was just fucking with me. Like, I can beat him consistently now, but that doesn't change the fucking the experience I've had with him. Like, basically, they need to make another boss that that can stun you and restun you back to back and just spam those 2. And the bonus points if the restun doesn't do damage.
Excuse me.
Actually, bonus points if neither of them do damage. So you're just getting fucking like you're getting stunned and then fucking hit with like a single move and then restood constantly. Like, yep. that shit sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, that shit sucks. I'm also nostalgic for it because Tekken 5. Like, I hated that in Tekken 5. I'm glad that it's gone. At the same time, I also miss it.
I do not understand.
Me neither. But yeah, and then continuing on to Street Fighter 6. turns out on Xbox X, there is a 5.5 frames of input delay in general in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I think that was kind of. There's a reason that everybody, all the pros and all the YouTubers were doing on PC, right?
Yeah. I don't know how much that stuff affects PlayStation. I'm gonna see if they have that listed or not, because that would be like good information to see if there's discrepancy in between the consoles.
I think it's partly an Unreal Engine thing on both consoles.
Could be. No, it's just yeah, no, it's just the Xbox thing here. The stats. But yeah, like Unreal Engine is the problem, but Sony was allegedly working with Unreal Engine to reduce the amount of input delay on PlayStation at least. Or like fucking Sony was working with Epic to reduce the Unreal Engine's input delay.
In other words, Sony shouts at Epic while Epic laughs and says we're collecting too much Fortnite money.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, then the last serious topic of the day. Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary was a thing that happened.
Yeah, and it's fallen into the recent trend of anniversary events that don't actually have anything to say.
Okay, so I wasn't dumb. There was nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it's legitimately like, I think Ed Boon, they've filmed Ed Boon saying like, hey, I worked on Mortal Kombat.
Because like they're showing off the games, and then it ends with play now, and then like the collection of 4 Mortal Kombat games. But like, where? There is no information here. Like they're just like, okay, so Mortal Kombat is a thing that exists, and then end. All right, play now. Play Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 9, 10, or 11. These are your options. And what are your options on? Who knows?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 9's not been ported to a modern system because of a little somebody called Freddy Krueger. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. And not only that, but if memory serves, Mortal Kombat 9 is unlisted from Steam, meaning you actually can't get it. Like, you can't buy it anymore. At all.
Well, probably. If memory serves, they did that because the Freddy Krueger video game license went to Behavior for a little bit instead for Dead by Daylight. And my God, if there's ever a game that's going to have some fucking licensing issues in the future, Dead by Daylight's pretty high up there.
Yeah. I mean, wishful thinking that they won't shut down the servers before then.
Yeah. I don't believe Dead by Daylight has servers. It's peer-to-peer.
Okay, then yeah.
Whoever the killer is the host.
Okay, then yeah, that game will get fucked.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they're going to bring back the Stranger Things stuff, I think, soon. We'd have to ask them, because I think they're working on a Stranger Things pack number 2, which will finally let them bring back Hawkins Lab and shit like that. But yeah, like them having the issues taking out the Demogorgon and shit was the first sign of what is to come into that game in a few years.
Yeah. So yeah, Mortal Kombat. No news.
Nope. I mean, there has to come the question of, if there was a classic collection of either the original 2D games, the original 2D arcade games, or a 3D collection, would you be interested in either, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'd buy UMK3 again, because I liked UMK3. I wouldn't mind getting the 3D era, all 3 of them, because I only own 2, and I think they're stinky in just the right way to make for good content, but like...
4. There are 4 of them. Don't forget Mortal Kombat Gold.
Oh shit. Yes.
Now we want to talk about stink.
But wait, wouldn't that be 5 then? Because there's 4 Gold, Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon. Yeah, that's 5.
That's a good question. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to go further down the edition line, with Deception, do they go for the GameCube version that had Shao Kahn and Goro? Do they go for Unchained, which not only added Shao Kahn and Goro, but also added like Jax, Katana, and 2 other people?
Yeah.
With Armageddon, do they want to go with the original, or do they want to go for the Wii version that added Chameleon with a K?
Or do they go with the GBA version? The obvious superior.
Of Deadly Alliance, oh god.
Yeah.
That was a fascinating experiment. That really is an interesting game for just like, it reminds me of Doom, right? Like, we can't do 3D. Let's simulate it as hard as possible.
Yeah. Like that, it's one of those things, those portable games that tried their best with what they were given. Like, it's those are one of those things where, like, if they do a connection of all of these things, I kind of want them to be included because I played them, and it's the thing of like, are they good games? No, not really. But you have to like appreciate how much they tried to make them work. Yeah. Like, you know, there was Tekken 3 on the Game Boy, and boy, game, pretty much.
Hey, the Devil May Cry collection didn't skip DMC2.
Yet. But yeah, so what was I going to say about Mortal Kombat? Yeah, like I think they could do either just the original trilogy with both versions of 3 and well, actually, if they're doing the original trilogy, quote unquote, they would need to do 1, 2, 3, UMK3, and trilogy. I think. Shit. But yeah.
I think that sadly they would just do UMK3, but it would be neat if they had the original MK3 and trilogy. Partly because original MK3 is so fucking weird. Scorpion's not on the roster.
Yeah.
Fucking Scorpion. How do you skip Scorpion?
Ed Boon didn't get a say yet. Not during those times.
Well, during the process of Mortal Kombat 3, during the process of its development, every day Ed Boon would walk into the office and John Tobias would just sneak up behind him with chloroform.
Yes.
And Trilogy, I mean, we've said it before, Trilogy would just be one of those... Trilogy is one of those games that was super held back by hardware, so if they were able to ever do a remaster of it on modern consoles, it would be fascinating just because the thing that held Trilogy back was all the goofiness about, like, oh, Shang Tsung with transformations need to load in, and loading screens and all that shit, which wouldn't be a problem on modern consoles.
I was going to say, like, there's an option in the Trilogy like options menu. There's an option for PlayStation 1 loading.
Meh.
And it simulates the amount of time that it would take for it to load, and it still gives you the loading screen.
It is a core element of the game feel.
Yes. But yeah, like, I'd be fine if they released either the 2D games or the 3D games as a pack. Looking at that 30th anniversary video, I was like, are they just doing everything? Like, is this trying to announce that they're gonna put all of the games together and then also all of the animated series together somehow and just put that out as a product? And no, it's just you can watch the animated series on fucking Netflix or whatever, and then also these games exist.
Right, that animated series of Mortal Kombat that was for kids.
Yes.
Which is immediately a problem already. But on top of that, they took the classic Mortal Kombat cast, but replaced Johnny with Stryker.
Yes. That show was great. Do you remember the boat CG?
No.
I remember this one scene very vividly where they were going on a boat in like Outward or something. And the characters were, you know, the 2D animation, and the boat was computer generated. And as you'd imagine, Crashing art styles look great. Especially
They always
movement.
do. Yes.
So yeah, that cartoon was just full of that. Then we have a very important question about fighting games.
What's that?
This needs a picture, so I'm gonna read out the question and then send the picture into the FGA part. So the question is, what will fighting games get into me? All right, the picture is loading, I guess.
No, I see it. I see it.
Okay.
Honestly, I like their username better.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I refuse to say what picture Addy just showed me, everyone.
It is a secret to everybody. It's a secret to everyone. That's the line. I never remember. So yeah. Deadpool on Wake Up, how about it? So did you play any fighting games?
Have I played any fighting games?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yes. I have put a lot of time into the Darkstalkers Collection, which is labeled the Capcom Arcade Collection. Which, to be fair, I keep saying that, but that's only because I haven't put time into Cyberbots or Red Earth. Or Gym Fighter.
I mean, I can't blame you with Red Earth.
Red Earth seems really fascinating, and I want to put a lot of time into it, but I'm really focusing on Darkstalkers for now.
Yeah.
Darkstalkers is really good. It have fun characters.
Oh no. Did he leave? Yes, the Rogue Cloud. Darkstalkers, it has fun character. Just the one.
The original Darkstalkers, you skip. Because the next one is just straight up the same game, but better. It's like, you don't play Street Fighter 2 vanilla. If anything, you start with Champion Edition. If you want to start low with Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
Darkstalkers start with, I think it's called Night Warriors. Because it features the same cast, the same arcade mode endings, but on top of adding in Donovan and Cienko, it also overhauls the inputs so that they aren't just a bunch of weird inputs for the sake of being weird inputs. And they changed the super meter system to be slightly less confusing.
I don't know about that.
I
played Night Warriors recently as well, and I didn't understand the super meter from what I remember, at least.
It goes up to 9, all EX moves and supers spend 1 bar. There you go. Now, why it goes up to 9, I have no goddamn clue. Unless you're both just spamming low projectiles and blocking them, I do not see any possible context you could get above like 4 or 5.
Why not, I guess?
The fun thing about playing it is just seeing just how odd. Like, Anna Karis is fundamentally one of the weirdest characters ever designed in a fighting game, right?
Yeah.
But, like, Whitzel is also so damn weird. He's got the float jumps, like, he's got levitating jumps, but he's got fast falls. And he has a bunch of air-to-air normals, which are just weird. He can shoot a laser beam straight up. He can crouch walk, which was innovative at the time. Of course, nowadays, you probably think of like Faust when you think of crouch walk in fighting games. Or Guile. Boy, that you know, that's one thing I haven't thought to check with Guile in Street Fighter 6. Can he still crouch walk? But just such a delightfully weird cast.
Yeah.
And like seeing the art. By the way, they include, you know, they include all the art. They include the concept art, and it's funny to see like how there was at one point much more bizarre and just wacky art designs for the characters in Darkstalkers. In particular, like, I'm not an expert on that old Devilman manga anime thing, but you can tell that at one point, Darkstalkers was 100% supposed to be, if not an official Devilman game, then, like, very, very, very much a send-up to Devilman, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. Some of those designs are actually, like, some of those rejected designs are actually pretty rad, but like, there are a lot of very over-designed designs, which, for that time period, having that kind of over-designed character in that such relatively primitive graphics wouldn't have worked out, you know?
Yeah.
On top of that, I think a lot of the joy of Darkstalkers is from the simplicity of the animated, lovable characters, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love Sasquatch, and Sasquatch is a big white ball of fur. Victor, they at one point intended to be not so much clearly just Frankenstein, but like at one point the Doctor was actually supposed to be part of his character rather than just summoning him for one move. He was supposed to be like a robot skeleton or some shit at some point.
Oh.
And that's all well and nice, but I kind of enjoy how a lot of the Darkstalkers cast is classic Hammer horror monsters, you know, universal monsters.
Yeah, you enjoy Victor's ass cheeks.
That is all such a... By the way, funny thing, Darkstalkers 1, the art is clearly taking Victor very seriously. By the time of Night Warriors, they're like, oh, okay, Victor's laughing, joking, numbnuts. And suddenly all of his art is from behind and specifically highlighting his big ass.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Like, that's a very fun idea to do in a fighting game, of a character who can pretty well control his musculature and move his muscles, parts of his body. But just what designer was thinking, what if he moves all of the muscles in his body to his ass?
We get Pink on new main.
Yes. Oh my god, if he saw that game. If he saw Darkstalkers and he saw Victor.
Yeah, like Pink would either be a Victor or Morrigan main.
Alright. That's pretty well all I've done for fighting games this week. What about you?
Well, as I said on other podcast, I played Injustice 2.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It is a game. I didn't remember how Injustice plays. Like, I got myself ready mentally to be like, okay, Mortal Kombat inputs. Remember, Mortal Kombat inputs. It's NetherRealm. Mortal Kombat inputs. And then it's not Mortal Kombat inputs. It's worse. Somehow. Because it's like, okay, so what if we took Mortal Kombat and made it Blaze Blue?
Kind of, yeah. Definitely the 4-button setup of Blaze Blue, where it's 3 normals and then the weirdo ability button.
That's the thing. It's not 3 normals.
Yep. It is.
The heavy button just seemed like a launcher.
Only if you're putting in directions.
Oh, okay.
If you're neutral or crouching, then neutral, crouching, and jumping are all are regular normals, with differing usefulness depending on which character you're playing. By the way,
that still is really weird.
Like, some characters, the neutral heavy is not super good. If memory serves, the neutral heavy for Swamp Thing is the one where he shoots a tree out of his hand, and that one's really fucking good. Like, NetherRealm games around, like, Mortal Kombat 9, I'd say it's fun to play everyone. Mortal Kombat 11, But Injustice 1, Injustice 2, and Mortal Kombat X are both around that period where I think of them as games where, like, most of the cast I do not want to play, but, like, Swamp Thing, though.
Yeah, that I played with Green Arrow because the Green Arrow is the character that I played when there was the free weekend, which was when I first played the game. And I don't know what changed between the last time I played this game and this time, but I don't enjoy playing Green Arrow anymore. For some reason. Like the having to get out different arrows is fine. I still remember most of the inputs for those somehow. I don't know how, but whatever. And yeah, and like, you know, you can use it to like zone and shit. That's fine. But like, I remember there being more options when you get in close than just, okay, so you do the spinny thing, and then sometimes meter burn it, and eventually they'll die. And that's pretty much it. Like I've played their ladder, which is name I'm forgetting, the brother guy or whatever the fuck, the multiverse stuff. I played like a couple of matches of that, and it's alright. Like it's not really engaging content. It's just what if we spent like 15 minutes to load you into an arcade mode that doesn't have cutscenes? And then if you do it, you get a loot box sometimes, but not always. And like it seems like a lot of the progression is just for the sake of the progression, as in like the reason to level up in the game is to level up in the game.
Yeah.
Like you don't really get rewarded with anything. It's just bigger number.
Yep. Like, I thought it was really neat. No. I would do it to unlock costume pieces, but the longer it went on, especially near the end, the more it was just fucking droning on and 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 on.
Yeah, and that's been my experience too. And like, I even saw that they have it so you can set it up so the bot does it for you, which, you know, I knew about this already because both you and Pink told me about it when y'all were playing it. But it's like if the main like attraction, because like, you know, online is there, yes, but if otherwise the main attraction, the main way that people will interact with the game when they're not going to tournaments and shit, is so fucking boring that you need to set it up so the game can play itself, there's probably a problem. I'd wager. Like,
yeah, a little bit. Well, I'll tell you, a big part of it wasn't so much boring. A big part of it was the fact that it throws in the fucking random things of rockets rain from the skies. I can't be bothered to put up with that shit. I'll put the AI through it. Fuck it.
Yeah, like I had a ladder that was like, oh, sometimes health drops randomly, and of course 9 out of 10 times it would just be thrown onto the AI immediately. But also, like, the having to deal with that shit while also the AI is doing combos, and I haven't even figured out how to meter burn again yet because the controls of the game are fucking weird. Then, you know, like, what are you?
Mortal Kombat, you meter burn by pressing it right trigger at the same time as the move you input. Injustice, you press it after.
Yeah, I figured that out. I just had to remap the whole control scheme. Well, okay, not all of it, but I had to remap like a couple of buttons because it was like, okay, so meter burn is on R2. Why? Like, put it on R1. Put it on Dust. Like, that's a button that I'll go for a lot faster. Because like, I don't know how it is for you when I'm resting my hand on the controller. Usually the buttons, the trigger buttons that are the closest to me are the bumpers.
Yeah.
So having block and well, actually there is no block button. I forgot. Shit. But yeah, so having the important moves be on the bumpers makes sense to me, which is why it's like, I feel like they had like side switch on R1 or something dumb like that. And like, what use will I get out of side switch?
L2, I believe.
Okay, I don't remember what was on R1, but still.
Throw was on either L1 or R1.
I feel like throw was on L1 because I would have left it there. And that would be the other important move that I go for a lot. Out of the 4 options of like fucking meter burn, throw, dance, and whatever the fuck the 4th one is.
R1 was probably something really doofy, like summons when you're playing the towers.
Oh no,
it
was stage interaction. There we go.
Stage interaction, right? That explains why I was forgetting what I was doing. I never stage interact.
Me neither. But yeah, there's also the whole thing with like going between levels that's dumb and I don't like it. There's a whole lot. I mean, there's not much good I can say about Injustice 2. Like I can't even praise the story because I read it. I read the comic years ago.
NetherRealm, as time goes on, has seemingly got more and more bent on get-in spots that look good on YouTube.
Yeah. It kind of feels like that. And yeah, I think that's all of the... Well, technically, no. I did play Guilty Gear Xrd just today to try and remember combo inputs. I did not. I looked some stuff up on Dustloop that didn't help. Because Dustloop was just pointing me towards shit that I was already doing. But the combos that I used to do were different to the ones that they transition into. So it's like, okay, I can learn someone else's complex combo, or I can try to remember my slightly less complex combo. And that didn't really work out. I had to make do with like taking some of the stuff that they suggested and putting that together with my dumb bullshit and just throwing that together to make something that doesn't even look good. But fuck it, whatever. It needs to be in a video, so something had to be recorded.
Get it done quick and dirty.
Yeah. And I believe that's it. I believe that's all the fighting games I've played.
All right. I believe then that fighting games. Oh shit. Were
fighting games. Oh shit.
I nearly fell, but I caught myself.
All right. Yeah, fighting games were.